Hello, everybody. This is Sudha Jamthe. Talk about connectivity at your home, where it is fully secure and private. The open hub. That's what we're going to talk about.
I am Sudha Jamthe, and this is the IoT Show.
I have a very special guest. His name is Jaromil Rojo. Hello, Jaromil. How are you?
Hi, Sudha. Thanks for having me here as a guest.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about where you're joining us from and a little bit about your background.
Sure. Well, I'm calling from Amsterdam. Actually, I'm semi-underwater. That's where the office of Dynorg is. We are on the port of Amsterdam. We are a very small but active office. Connected.
Sorry to interrupt. Your office is actually on a boat. I mean, I've had people dial in from different countries, but an office on a boat, I wish I could have zoomed out and seen you walk in before you joined the show.
Yes, if you look it up on Google Maps, you will see it, that it's actually a floating object. It's well, it's a fantastic architectural. It's a bedrijfpand. It's for offices. And well, here we have a physical place for Dynorg, but we are also a very connected community-based non-profit organization that exists since 15 years. I co-founded it together with a lot of people that love computers, freedom, and also recycling and actually building things. And so we run both musea of old computers. We develop operating systems and a lot of software that is used around the world for radio making, for community making, in terms of decision making as well. So basically, it is very, very big. But here in Amsterdam, we have like our headquarters, let's say, a small place where we receive guests and we develop a lot of different projects.
And everything is open. Everything is open source.
Everything we do is open source. The statute of the foundation, which was made here in 2005 in Amsterdam, actually explicitly says that everything we do is free and open source. We had software productions recommended by the Free Software Foundation itself, and we are in good contact with the GNU project. So basically, we are pretty old school in this sense. A lot of our members are from the ham radio and BBS times. So we don't really see the internet or the connectivity or the community, the online community, as an opportunity to make money more than making a lot of knowledge and education. And since 4 years now, we are also a research organization for the European Commission. So actually, we produce also policy advisory and analyze everything that is between technology and politics and society.
Do you have any kind of collaboration with the Things Network?
We know them. And especially the project lead of DAOs, Rob van Kranenburg, had a good exchange with them. And also, we were honored to be together nominated at the Internet Society Award in 2015. We were nominated with Freecoin, another project of us, and they actually won the award with the Things Network.
So Freecoin is like a Bitcoin thing?
Freecoin is, it's related to. It's not really a coin itself. It's a wallet. It's a social wallet.
Yeah.
So we develop something that is fairly different from Bitcoin because it's a system in which everyone knows what everyone else has in the wallet, and it's spending. It's made for community and social budgeting and participatory budgeting.
That's fantastic. So is all this information available on dyne.org? Is that right?
Yeah, dyne.org. You will see a lot of links about our history and our projects.
Cool. So today we want to talk about IoT and the open hub. I mean, we have hubs, which is a hardware device at home made by some commercial vendor typically, and then it connects to a set of devices. And today, the way the home automation market is set up, you get a hub and you have a bunch of devices, and you get another new device, say I have lights connected in my house, I have my speakers connected, right? I have my Nest camera connected. If I try to add yet another device, it might not work with the hub I have at home. So it creates a problem of interoperability. So it limits my options of what I can actually add as another device. And for the average consumer, it's a nightmare because you just buy stuff from the market and it cannot talk to each other. The other issue is privacy and security, right? We do not own our data when we have a hub and we have this kind of commercial products from everybody connected to it. And so that's kind of slowed down the adoption in the home automation market. And so DAOs is a project from Dyn, which does exactly that. It is a open hub projects. So tell us a little bit about DAOs, and you have a working model of DAOs to show me in the end, right?
Yes, here it's disconnected. We have many prototypes actually. We tried.
Tell us what is DAOs before we get started.
Yes, well, DAOs is, as you said, is an open hub. It's born out of a necessity that we really felt it's necessary with the Internet of Things scenarios coming up. First, the problem. Things happen now to make connections without us even noticing. They open contexts. They start connecting and syncing their information. And all this happens in a very invisible way to us. So
we are not talking about anything malicious. We're just talking about the normal way of operation. Today, when we buy a hub and a bunch of devices, they just talk to each other and open connections. They don't involve us.
Yeah.
Which must be a good thing, because as a consumer, I don't want to know when my device is opening a socket and talking to another device, right?
True. The only thing is, it becomes very difficult when you have a lot of these devices in the home or in the office. If you need to know what is happening, it's difficult to visualize it. It's difficult to understand which IP number corresponds to what thing and to where is actually communicating. So what we wanted to build, and we are really close to actually deliver with this crowdfunding, is a device that lets you know what is talking to where. And it gives you this awareness. This is a very key concept for us, to be aware. It
is total transparency. So when I buy the hub from you, when you make it and it's ready, we'll get to that. It is the DAO's hub is actually going to show a degree of transparency.
Yes.
Right? The DAO's hub is going to show a degree of transparency that the others don't have.
Yes. It's visible on our website, this simulation of points connecting to different domains. What we have is a layer 2 and layer 3 filtering, so very low level on the TCP/IP and on the ARP level, on the MAC address, to identify actually the objects that are in a space, in a local area space, and understand where do they connect, especially observing the DNS connections. So we don't look at the content of the packets, but we look at where things are connecting. And this way, it's also possible to say, okay, this thing, I don't want it to connect. Or maybe I don't want it to connect during daytime. Or maybe I don't want it to connect to something else, like something specific. Like I don't want my computer to disturb me with Adobe updates during the day. So you can close it to a connection to specific domains. Like you don't want it to connect to Facebook during the day because you don't want to be distracted. Or you can just like say, okay, this thing connects to everything. You can have an app that actually alerts, if you want, other things when this thing actually happened. And well, we also look
to get to specifics. So in a home setting, I have my lights, I have my entertainment system, I have my security camera, and all that connected. So with the open hub, I have the option to know what is connecting and what is actually communicating to my hub. So I will be able to review it, or I will be able to set it up as to what degree of control I want. So I might not want to micromanage it to that degree, but a lot of devices, home devices, were used maliciously by some hacker to actually go pound on some DNS server. That happened here, a Dyna attack.
Yeah, it was
in
quite
US, right?
It happened also in Germany very recently. And it was.
Tell us a little bit about that, because here it was just the devices did not even know about it. There was no way of even tracking what the devices were.
Yeah.
We just knew it happened, right? We haven't solved who it came from to. So it's an open threat.
Yeah. And this malicious situation is it's provoking also a lot of paranoia, because imagine you have someone as a guest coming into your home or as an office. Of course, this guest will ask for the internet, and I mean, it's something that one may ask, and you want to give the internet access to your local area network. But it's also a very delicate thing to give. And how can you actually know if the device that the guest is connecting doesn't contain viruses he or she might also not be aware of, and starts connecting and sending, for instance, spam or DOS attacks to DNSs?
Yeah.
The responsibility makes everyone very embarrassed, and actually not knowing what is entering the network space is the problem. You see, it's also a matter of hospitality. If you have someone entering from a door, you will see the person, and you will react to the attitude of this person in a good, in a positive or negative way. We don't see what enters the network. This is the main problem now. We don't see when it enters, at the time in which it enters. And no one has time to go back to the gateway to read logs. What a system administrator should be doing, I guess, even professional system administrators, they don't do it at their home. When they come back and they are tired, you don't look at your gateway logs to see what happened. So you want to be actually notified in a different ways when things happen, so that you can actually decide how to react to them. So that is not only
like the DDoS attack that happened in US, where random home owners' devices were used by some hackers, and then did a DDoS attack on a DNS server. So if something like that happened, if you had an open hub, it will be, as soon as it gets contacted by this new device, which is not listed as a trusted device, it will wake up and it will say, hey, I need to send a notification. It will send you a notification, maybe on your mobile.
Yeah, or it will show you a different web page the next time you connect on the internet. So it used this captive portal to notify you something happened in the meantime. Do you want to ignore it, or do you want to have a look at it? It doesn't happen very often that we have new things connecting to our network, or at least it shouldn't. It's because we bought a home, we brought some new device, and then we know it, and we say, okay, this is the new device, I know, and I will give it this name, so that the next time I will remember it. And you can give it access, or you can say, no, I don't want it to access.
So this is the same, security, like when I use Chrome or Firefox and I log into my Google account, right? It actually sends me a notification saying, hey, you had logged in from Chrome at this hour, right? And if it was you, that's okay, you can ignore this message. If it was not, you should change your password. Maybe somebody else logged in as you. So it's a similar kind of notification that one would get when a new device connects to their network. So it's not a different experience from what users are used to. It is just for a device. They're not used to thinking about devices being live and connecting in and out, especially in the case of a hacker trying to get access to a device in my home. The Open Hub will give me that kind of notification.
Yeah. Thank you, Sudha. This is pretty good explanation to make it really simple. And there is one more element to it, which we are very proud of, and we find it very interesting. The notifications that DAOs sends out, they are all made with very open and documented protocol. So that protocols, actually, we have three main protocols that we use. And this is so that other people can build new boxes that actually notify you in very different ways. So you could build a light that goes on whenever DAOs has a new machine connecting, or whenever there is a huge traffic coming from a new device. You can have a sound. You can decide, really. we have three different protocols to send out these notifications. One is Open Sound Control, which interacts with a lot of musical instruments.
Okay.
One is MQTT, which is very popular in the Internet of Things.
Yes.
And the other one is WebSockets. We also send WebSockets to any JavaScript, and we send very interesting information. For instance, this IP has contacted now this DNS, so has contacted Google for the third time or fourth time or 100th time in the last hour.
So in the DDoS attack, if somebody is going to use that and pound on another device, that's kind of a non-standard situation. And so that is one. I actually wanted to comment on one more thing. You said you have these three protocols that you're supporting, and others could build a device on top of it. So you're actually creating the open hub, and then you're giving this option of being notified. And then it is for other technologists to build out other devices on top, right?
Yeah, that's why we call it open, really.
So it's creating a whole open, not just one open source product from you with the software and hardware. You're creating a platform even for other open source players to come in and provide. So I could have my existing device, which I'm used to, that actually gives, blinks lights and actually can send a light notification. Right? And the choice is good because I might not want that sound at any time. I might want the sound at night. I might want to have right? So there is another company, Unified Inbox. Basically, they allow you to connect to different devices, to different communication medium, and personalize it based on, I want to be woken up if it is this kind of device giving a notification. I want this to come on my WhatsApp with a degree of urgency. Otherwise, I want this to be on an email. I want this to sit here, and then I'll go look at it in the morning for some other kind of notifications based on the urgency of the kind of notifications from different devices. It could be different stakeholders in an IoT system. So I see a lot of value. I will connect you with that theme. Okay.
Thank you, Sudha. We see a lot of value basically in having a peace of mind with increasing connectivity. So we don't want to disconnect. Many things in the Internet of Things can be really useful, but we also want to have a peace of mind in being so hyper connected, in knowing that really this thing that I trust can connect, and if something happens indeed, in the worst scenario, being woken up.
So I have lots of devices in my house. So I have this Nest Cam, and it watches the front of my house. And compared to the previous camera we had, which would record everything, the Nest Cam actually uses machine learning and can tell me only when a person comes in front of the house. So if it's a mailman or somebody soliciting something, whatever, it's a human being, and it identifies that, and then it sends a notification with the picture of that person. Mm-hmm. And actually we get a notification because I would like to know when somebody comes to my front door. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So now you're saying we have kind of missed the point that we need it at a fundamental level at the hub, because the hub is the device that's controlling all the other devices in the hub.
And also at the fundamental level of the protocols we use, because we really are in the ISO-OSI layer. We are in the second and third. So we are very low level. And this is a sort of advantage. We don't want to know about the contents of the packets, of the traffic that passes by.
So you're below the TCP. So you're below the TCP layer. So you're not able to access the packet. So that's kind of a privacy that you're.
Of course, and it will be a big responsibility. We don't want to have that, but we want just to make sure that what is online, what is communicating, is known, can be remembered with an easy name instead of an IP address or the host name. Android phones, for instance, many people use them. They cannot change their host name. You always have on the network this Android with a number in. And how can you find out if that is in the logs your phone or somebody else's phone? We want, a hub that let us remember these things.
So is that your reminder for? Is that your reminder for? 20 minutes. For our show? I keep track of time. You're my first guest who's keeping track of time. Thank you. Okay, so now it's time for you to show us the DAO's hub, because you're going in for a crowdfunding, or you've started a crowdfunding, right?
Yes.
So I would like to.
We just launched it a week ago,
Yep.
All our team is very proud of the work done. There is a lot of documentation online. We have videos, and we will put more documentation, and it will run for 3 months. It has different formulas, from just buying a T-shirt to support us to actually buying the actual box, which will be based.
As soon as Rob came and told me, I ended up, funding to get one of the boxes, just one box. I think you have a 1 box option and a 2 box option.
Yes. Yeah.
I missed the T-shirt, though. That's
The 1 box option is we settle down to a price of 69 euros, which will be something like 75 or perhaps even euro and dollars.
Yeah, it's close to 90 bucks. It's like $89 US. But I think if it is going to be an open hub, and it's going to give me complete control over my privacy and security for my home, I think it's worth it. So I'm excited.
We also have a cheaper formula. We can just put for download an image and give support to make sure that you flash it on an SD card. So it's only a download then. Then the price comes very low, and you can just buy a Raspberry Pi or a Banana Pi and put it on. We are doing the same.
So essentially, what your crowdfunding is the whole hub called DAOs, which I buy as a unit with the hardware and software. And being an open source organization, you're saying somebody who's a maker who would make and play with their own Raspberry Pi or any other Arduino device, you would actually you'll just give only the software piece.
Yes.
They could. Yeah, that's very cool.
It's also free and open source. So this person can also build it.
They build their own DAOs, right? They build their own DAOs. So show us the big thing about crowdfunding is always that we invest on a promise and it takes a long time to execute. So why I immediately went and bought it is because Rob showed me that you already had a working model.
Yeah.
So
we take crowdfunding very seriously, especially as a sort of pre-sale. It's a very important contract with who buys our objects. So we didn't went there. We are beyond beta. This project was funded already by NLNet from the Science Park of Amsterdam and by SIDN Funds, which is the authority of .nl domain. So actually, the public sector see value into this, and they supported us in the last year with a good amount of money to actually develop it and make it free and open source.
See, obviously it was not written in English. Maybe you said that in the crowdfund site, but I didn't see it. I trusted Rob from the EU Council and went ahead because he showed me a working model. So show me what you have built out and what you're ready.
We are involving artists to try to find out how it would look, such a box. And because of the inspiration of the dowsing, something like this, which is pretty funny, came out. Of course, this is 3D printed. And
that looks like a reindeer.
It's not completely straight because it recalls that of a branch, no? Of a sort of natural gesture, which is recalling what we really give as a name to this thing. Dowsing is the act of looking for water with a pendulum, like with a piece of wood in the countryside to see where water is. And so DAOs is a little bit like this. It's a tool to look for network, where the network flows, where it goes. And we choose this metaphor, and we try to keep it also in the way we are prototyping and try to find out how it will look externally, because we want to eliminate these terms of anxiety that often network language has. It's very militarized to talk about firewalling, defense, and shields and threat. Oh my God, the malware. We really want to get rid of this anxiety. As I said, the goal is peace of mind and a very solid infrastructure based on layer 2 and layer 3. So basically, we really want to go for the metaphor of dowsing, and this is one prototype. This is another hardware device we are testing it on. It's called Banana Pi. It's available online. One can also order it, and again, buy into the crowdfunding only for the SD card and the support that we will.
So Banana Pi is like a Raspberry Pi? I'm not familiar with Banana Pi.
It's a Raspberry Pi, but it works better for the networking. It has all these ports, so it's in fact becomes really a hub, and it has very interesting features that make the internet works better, like the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet works better under heavy load. Okay. Let's say it's less of a prototype thing compared to the Raspberry Pi, which is very versatile but has some drawbacks on the performance. We use also Raspberry Pi 3s as a platform, and basically we will release the software, the compiled, ready-to-install software for these and many other devices, QB board, Odroid. We have all sorts of builds, and this is thanks to another project that we have, which is an operating system, a community-based operating system, which is this Dev one.
What is
and
it
you can
called?
see it online. You can also look it up at dev-1.org.
What is it called? I see XVU. No, I can't read it. It's
a DE, but if you look for dev-1.org, you will see it's a GNU Linux system. And this is the system on which DAOs runs, is the base system. And we use the
So what is the operating system called? Sorry, it's like an embedded OS or a real-time OS?
Yeah, it's Dev1.
Dev1.
Based on GNU Linux. So it is a GNU Linux distribution, which is extremely performant for embedded devices. We managed to make images that run in 56 megabytes of RAM. So has all the packages that also Debian-based distributions have. And we use this as a standardized base. So we use very standard peer review packages for all our software. So DAOs is a software we are writing in C, very performant, that sits on top of a whole operating system that we make ourselves, and we use to ship this sort of ready-to-install also SD cards. If you go on the dev-1.org website, you will see that we have already images for download of bare-bone Dev1 available for the public.
Okay. So we've been talking about DAOs and Open Hub, and it's ready for crowdfunding. So where can we get it?
Oh, please go to DAWS, DOWSE.eu or .equipment, and there you will find a link to the crowdfunding. You can also go to crowd.daws.eu.
So how long is the crowdfunding, and how much money are you looking to raise?
The crowdfunding is running now for 3 months, basically. 5 days past or a week.
Yeah.
So we will start delivering, we will close the crowdfunding around the end of February, actually mid-March. Yeah, it is mid-March, the end. And then we will start delivering the devices, the boxes with a nice little manual, and also all the downloadable things. And also we are planning in the next spring to run workshops. There is an option in the crowdfunding. It costs a little bit more, but for those in Amsterdam or those that want to come in Amsterdam, we offer a workshop of 2 days. And this workshop should have also the outcome of empowering people to go back home and make their own DAOs. This is free and open source software, so we really want people to appropriate this technology and distribute it further, or even make a business out of it. We are not the only ones that can sell and send around DAOs. So we are asking help for the crowdfunding to help us develop it to a stable format. And then we will let people, as with every other project that we do their own thing, customize it, link it with new devices. And the workshop is really a way to get in touch with us and intensively learn in a 2 days workshop what it does. And also being given in person, of course, 1 or more DAOs boxes.
So you have the crowdfunding going on, and the site is not in English, right? Even when I came in from US, I'm used to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. It was different, but I could see what the options were. I think you have to click the contribute first, and then it give you all the gifts option, all the different funding reward options.
Yeah, the reward.
That's the next
the site has been translated. It's originally an Italian website, and we choose that because we know the people. They are really passionate about what they do. And you will see from many crowdfunding they have on their website, they really support community efforts. They are really about grassroots, bottom-up development, and not really marketing, but community projects. So we choose it because the character is pretty close to our sort of projects.
So we are almost near the end of the show. So we are talking about DAOs from dyne.org. So bit.ly/openhub DAOs is where you go for the crowdfunding. And we spoke about why an open hub and how it will help create the secure environment for connecting a lot of devices in your home or office. And what I find interesting in all our discussion today is because it comes from Dyne, the company, the nonprofit that runs a lot of other software, open source software, you could be a technologist who actually know, or a maker who knows to make these things, and you can actually build on top of it and do more fun things, customize it for the home or build a whole business around it. Or you could be just a consumer who just wants to buy the box and set it up, and they're going to give it to you in a nice package with manual and everything else, right?
Yes.
Awesome. I am so excited. Yes. Thank you so much for coming to my show. And
thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. And that's all the time we have for today. So I'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for following.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi guys, if you like the show, this is where you press subscribe.